Do you have a dream of owning land in the Black Hills? Stick around for the 6 things you must know before buying land in the Black Hills. Hey everybody, I'm Tristan Ehman with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where I talk everything about moving to Rapid City and the Black Hills and all the wonderful things about Rapid City and the Black Hills. To begin with, let's look at the Black Hills on a map and talk about the different areas in the Black Hills. Northern Hills is those areas just south of Spearfish and Sturgis, coming down to Deadwood and Nebo and Rockford in this area right in here. Central Hills are those areas just east of Rapid City, going down to Hill City and Custer. And Southern Hills are by Custer and down to your Hot Springs. What we'll notice is the majority of the land opportunities are around the Lee-Deadwood area. A lot of the mining claims are now being opened up and buyers are coming in and buying those mining claims. The other area that will find more land listings than others is the Southern Hills, south of Custer, near Hot Springs. As you can imagine, the areas right around Rapid City, a lot of people have decided the same thing and said, you know what? I'd really like to have that nice property in the Black Hills right close to Rapid City. So land parcels within 30 minutes of Rapid City are few and far between. There still are subdivisions. So what happened is the owners of some Black Hills parcels decided instead of just selling the parcel, they should subdivide it. Now they're not going to be like your small city lots of 0.25 or even half acre. You'll probably have 1 acre lots, you'll have 3 acre lots, maybe even up to 5 to 10, even 20 acre lots, but they are still within a subdivision. Now some of these subdivisions are miles away from the nearest town, and most of those miles are on gravel roads. And if you're looking for a Black Hills view, don't forget, you have to go up a hill to get to the view. So you're not going to have blacktop roads all the way up to your driveway. Point number 3, if it says Black Hills in the title, the price is going to go up. With everything that happened in 2020, a lot of people are escaping their cities, escaping their big areas, and looking to find a spot they can call their own that's maybe a little bit further away from neighbors and other people. And the Black Hills have been a great choice. But what has happened then in this past year is prices have gone up. In 2020, the average price of a 5 to 10 acre parcel within a Black Hills area was about $88,000. And most of these parcels were in subdivisions that had covenants of some kind. Your average price of your 10 to 20 acre parcel was about $130,000. And then I did search for land in the Black Hills with no covenants, regardless of acreage, and the average price was $206,000. So if you're looking for that Black Hills acreage that's got a little more space to it so you can get away from your neighbors, expect to spend over $50,000 just for the lot itself. And if it's under $50,000, there's probably a reason. I looked at one property the other day that was on the market for over 3,000 days. That's 8 years it's on the market. Chances are these properties have either no power, you need a snowmobile to access it in the winter, or it's just simply built on a hillside. Last year I showed some property to some clients of mine that had bought a bus and retrofitted it and just wanted to go take their bus, park it on some land. We found one property that sounded amazing. We took a look at it. First of all, you had to drive past another neighbor to get there. And that driveway was small, narrow, muddy, with a ravine on the one side. By the time you actually got to the lot, it was an angled lot. It was basically a hillside. There might have been one building spot in that entire lot. They couldn't even get their bus into it. And if they got their bus there, I'm not even sure how they would turn it around. So I mentioned subdivisions. Subdivisions, they've got covenants. Now most of these subdivisions that have covenants, they're not going to be one of those scary HOAs that you've heard so much about. But these covenants will have stipulations about keeping your property clean, how many animals you can or cannot have, whether or not you can have a mobile home on your property, that type of thing. In addition to that, it's also going to list what size of home they're requiring you to build. Most have a minimum build size of at least 1,000 square feet. Most will also have a time frame for you to get your building completed in. They want to make sure that you're not building your house for years and years and years and years. They also have a limited time frame that you can have a temporary structure while you're building your home. So you could live in your RV for up to 6 months while you're building your property. But after that 6-month time period, you're not allowed to be living in that RV anymore. So for those of you that just want a piece of land to put up your RV and stay in it every once in a while, or you've got a tiny home that falls underneath the 1,000 square foot building requirements, or any kind of other temporary structure, you will not be allowed to live on your property in that manner with covenants attached. These past couple of months I did help some of my clients with a tiny home find a property for them to put their tiny home on. Before they got here to actually look at land, they were sending me lot after lot after lot, considering, what about this one? This one looks great, what about this one? And I would look at each one, and every one that had a covenant had a building square foot requirement, so their tiny home would work on that property. So we had to look for properties that were only listed as no covenants. Number 4, let's talk about utilities. For the majority of your properties in the Black Hills, you're probably going to need to drill a well. There's not going to be any water on a property. You're going to have to go find that by drilling a well. You also have to install a septic system of some kind. Now, if your lot isn't conducive to a normal tank system, there's also mound type septic systems and other options that we can look at as far as getting that system installed. Those, though, are more expensive. Natural gas won't be available, so you'll have to get propane and a propane tank to fire your furnaces, gas fireplaces, and whatever else you need. Finally, electric service. Most subdivisions will have electricity to the lot, but there are some lots, electricity might be far enough away that you're going to have to get the electric company to come string up the wires and the poles to get electricity to your lot. Fun fact, if you buy a property in Pennington County with no covenants, and you park your RV there for longer than 6 months, Pennington County is going to require you to install a septic system to make sure that that sewage goes in the right direction. Just make sure that whatever county you're in, you pay attention to the rules and regulations. Number 5, the internet. Now, I know we'd all love to have broadband internet with us wherever we go, but when you're in the remote areas of the Black Hills, where there's lots of granite and rocks and all sorts of things, the internet guys don't seem to want to come and dig cable all the way out that way. So your choices at that point for internet is satellite internet. If there happens to be phone line out there, there might be a DSL service, or you might be able to use cell service for your internet. However, take a look at these maps, both by AT&T and Verizon. You can see that in many areas of the Black Hills, there isn't even service readily available. So if you're looking for Black Hills land too far away from the city, chances are your internet isn't going to be fantastic. And finally, number 6, money, money, money. As I mentioned in the utility section, there are a lot of things that you need to install prior to you even really getting started building your house. The first thing is a well. That could be $50,000 all by itself. You need to install a septic tank. You need to build a driveway for your property. What if you need to clear some trees, or you need to do some extra additional groundwork to make a flat spot for your property? All these other things you need to look at to consider when you are putting all the numbers together with how much money it's going to actually take to build your property. You could be spending $100,000 on these pieces, and that doesn't include the price of the land or the price it takes to build your home. Now, if you are a home builder and you want to build it yourself, more power to you. I just ask that you do one thing, or maybe 3 things. Number 1, check with the county for their building codes and regulations. Make sure that you follow those. Number 2, you can do your own electric work, but you need to have the South Dakota State guys come by and take a look at it and give them their thumbs up. Same thing with plumbing. They have to have their South Dakota State's got their plumbing guys to have a plumbing inspection. Please do those 3 things, because if you don't do those and then you go to sell your property, it's very expensive to get all those things cut back up to code or up to the inspections that are needed before you can sell. Your Black Hills land dream is possible. Over the past 2 months, we've sold 2 Black Hills properties. The first buyer found a property inside Custer city limits. It's about ½ acre, but they wanted the city sewer, they wanted the city water, they wanted the services close by with the city. And in addition to that, they also got a view in the distance of the rocks coming out of the Black Hills. The second is the family I mentioned before that had the tiny home they wanted to put on a lot. We found them the perfect lot. 14 acres, fully fenced, no covenants, a few miles outside of Custer, but they paid $175,000 for this property. But man, it's got a nice view. I can imagine waking up every morning watching the sunrise over the Black Hills. I hope the information I provided to you in this video has been helpful. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to email me, call me, let me know what questions you have in the comments below. I'll be sure to make a video about those comments if I see enough of them. Thanks again for watching. Have an amazing day. Remember, love where you live.